I want to speak to a question that very often comes up right from the start in the Thai Yoga Massage Practitioner trainings. And that is how to hold space for all of the really quite big stories that our clients are very likely to bring. And some people phrase it more around how to maybe not then get stuck with the client's energy. I find a lot of people coming to the trainings are really quite sensitive to other people's energies. This is something that we cover in great detail in the course. It's really not just about learning X number of techniques and a sequence and giving a treatment. This is really absolute key, so it's a really good question. We go through, in a way, some rituals that everybody can create really for themselves, because it needs to be something that works for everyone individually. And I will share some ideas of how we might prepare the space, that we make sure we arrive early and we don't rush in, that we have time before the client arrives to do some form of grounding practice. And that can take all sorts of different shapes. Before we then really come to that first touch, when the client is already there on the mat, we ground again. We connect with the earth, the sky, and our own axis. We really check in that we are present, that nothing else of our own stories are coming up, and we find a way to park those outside the door. We talk a lot about that, and also then put that into practice every day of the training, every time we practice on each other. During the practice, it's about really staying in that place, staying in your hara, staying in that axis without jumping into the soup. Some of us call it that. Into the drama, not getting pulled into the stories. And then at the end of the treatment, there can also be a ritual, and it can be that you ask the energy to return, or that any energy that doesn't belong to anyone in the room to leave. You need to make sure you open the windows for that to be possible. It could be that you wash your hands, something I do, from the elbows down with really cold water. I also always make sure that I drink some water after every treatment, and I plant my 2 feet on the ground, feet on the ground, and take a moment to discharge into the earth. Of course, it could be that we need to shake it off or do some other movement. It could be that we do a grounding practice as such afterwards, that we do some qigong or some yoga after that, we go for a walk, that we take a shower, that we change our clothes. There's a whole range of things that we can do to really make sure we're rounded and often leaving the treatment that we just gave behind, because it's not ours to take with, or it doesn't belong to us, and it's also then not ours to deal with after, really. Other things we discuss is also around setting very clear boundaries, for example, around the amount of time that you give to clients, that it's really clear that you start on time, but you also end on time, that you don't run over too much because people want to talk, for example. So you're really clear about that right from the start. Can even filter all the way down into your advertising materials, your website, your cancellation policy, the way that you really make clear what to expect in a session. So it's really quite clear also for the person coming into your space, knowing how this exchange is going to work. So all of these things we discuss in greater detail here. These are already just some ideas I wanted to share. Maybe it's helpful. It's part of both the level 1 foundation training, since after the foundation you can already give a really beautiful session to family and friends, and there might be even more important that we set some boundaries, as we're obviously maybe more familiar with those people. But certainly It's part of the level 2 practitioner training part, where it's all about giving treatments to people and relevant treatment to the person that is coming. If you have any questions around that, if you want to know more about it, do reach out. You know how to get a hold of me, or maybe if you're interested in the trainings, check it out on my website, hadadithaimassage.com. And I look forward to sharing more and this beautiful practice with you. Thank you for listening.